The Theatre of Dreams, the most famous stadium in the world of football. For over 110 years, this has been the cathedral where legends were born, where Sir Alex Ferguson built dynasties, where the Busby Babes played their hearts out, where 74,000 fans have roared United to glory in the biggest moments in football history. But here's the brutal truth that no United fan wants to hear. Old Trafford is falling behind. And if United want to compete with the world's elite, they might have to do the unthinkable and leave the Theatre of Dreams behind. This isn't about money or ownership drama. This is about cold, hard infrastructure reality. And after 115 years of use, the problems are getting impossible to ignore. Let me show you exactly why Manchester United might have no choice but to abandon their spiritual home. First, let's give Old Trafford the total respect it deserves. This isn't just any old ground, but one of the most historic football stadiums in the world. Old Trafford opened in 1910, making it older than most countries, and it survived World War II bombing raids. It's the site of the Munich Air Disaster Memorial, honoring the Busby Babes who gave their lives for this club. This is the ground on which Sir Alex Ferguson won 13 Premier League titles. United lifted the Champions League trophy, and some of the greatest players in history graced the pitch. Old Trafford hosted the 1966 World Cup and has witnessed more football history than almost any other stadium on earth. When you walk through those tunnels, when you see that green pitch spread out before you, when you hear 74,000 voices singing as one, you understand why this place is sacred. This isn't just Manchester United's home, but a shrine to everything beautiful about football. But here's the problem. As much as we all love the charm and history and feeling that you're walking into a football cathedral every time you enter Old Trafford, the truth is the modern football world has changed. And unfortunately, Old Trafford hasn't kept up. So, let me explain the 5 harsh and unfortunate reasons Manchester United need to leave Old Trafford Stadium before it's too late. Number 1. Old Trafford is literally falling apart, and I mean that in the most serious way possible. The infrastructure that holds this 115-year-old stadium together is breaking down in ways that are becoming dangerous. Gary Neville, United legend and someone who knows this stadium better than almost anyone, recently said the stadium is rusty and parts of it feel rotten. In April 2019, a heavy storm caused a section of the roof to collapse, sending water pouring onto the seats below, and thank God the stadium was empty at the time. During the 2012 Olympics, when Old Trafford hosted football matches, heavy rain revealed massive roof leaks throughout the stadium. In 2024, a thunderstorm caused the drainage system to overflow, absolutely drenching parts of the stands. And engineers estimate that installing a modern retractable roof alone would cost over £200 million. And if leaking roofs weren't embarrassing enough, Old Trafford has a rodent problem. Mice have been spotted running across the pitch during live matches and found in the stadium kitchens where food is prepared. Local health authorities have criticised United for failing to seal the gaps and holes in the old structure that allow these pests to enter. Think about that for a second. Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, can't keep mice out of their stadium. And that's not just embarrassing, but a health hazard. Number 2. The facilities at Old Trafford are frankly outdated and cramped compared to modern stadiums. The last major expansion was in 2006, and since then the stadium has seen almost no modernisation. Inside the ground, supporters face narrow, overcrowded concourses that make movement extremely difficult. In 2023, an event at Old Trafford served undercooked chicken to guests, resulting in the stadium receiving a downgraded food hygiene rating. The concourse areas are smaller and more cramped than most modern arenas, and when you compare this to what rival clubs are offering, the difference is stark. Tottenham's new stadium has world-class food courts and spacious lounges, while Manchester City's upgraded Etihad has premium dining zones that Old Trafford simply cannot match. United fans deserve better, but the infrastructure limitations mean there's no space to add these modern amenities without massive reconstruction. Number 3. The stadium's technology infrastructure is decades behind modern standards since its core design comes from an era before smartphones, before high-speed internet, before the digital age. The scoreboards and video screens at Old Trafford are notably small by today's standards, and the stadium struggles with poor connectivity on match days. Wi-Fi is unreliable, cellular coverage is spotty, and the aged electrical infrastructure makes it almost impossible to introduce innovations like high-speed internet, advanced sound systems, or augmented reality experiences. Here's how serious this technology problem has become. Despite being England's largest club stadium, Old Trafford was excluded from hosting matches during Euro 2028 because UEFA looked at Old Trafford and said, "Thanks, but no thanks." The reason given was the stadium's outdated infrastructure compared to newer grounds. Being passed over for a major international tournament because your facilities aren't good enough shows that Old Trafford no longer meets international standards for hosting elite football. Number 4. The financial impact of Old Trafford's limitations is staggering. Old Trafford can hold 74,310 fans, which sounds impressive until you compare it to what United's competitors are doing in terms of revenue generation. This isn't just about ticket sales, since modern stadiums are designed to maximize income from corporate hospitality, premium seating, and year-round events. Old Trafford's outdated design means United are missing out on massive revenue streams. United are losing approximately £50 million annually from inadequate corporate hospitality facilities and missing out on around £20 million per year in potential naming rights deals. Enhanced match day experiences could generate an additional £30 million annually. Add it all up, and United are losing over £100 million every single year because Old Trafford can't compete with modern stadium revenue generation. Over a decade, that's more than £1 billion in lost income. Meanwhile, their competitors are cashing in. Real Madrid's renovated Bernabeu generates over €500 million annually, while Tottenham's new stadium has already transformed their finances, generating more matchday revenue than United despite having a smaller capacity. Number 5. Even if United wanted to fix these problems, the physical constraints make renovation nearly impossible since Old Trafford is completely boxed in by infrastructure that makes expansion basically impossible. The South Stand backs directly onto a major railway line. So any attempt to expand this stand would require building over an active railway, which presents massive engineering challenges. You'd also need to purchase and demolish dozens of neighboring houses. Previous studies have estimated that expanding the South Stand would cost around £100 million and require years of complex engineering work. The broader Old Trafford area includes freight rail terminals that further complicate any large-scale construction. But here's the biggest problem with trying to renovate Old Trafford. The club's managing director warned that a comprehensive renovation would likely be a multi-year project that could force Manchester United to play elsewhere temporarily. And there are few venues nearby that could accommodate United's 70,000-plus crowds during renovation. This is why United's Stadium Task Force has been studying the option of building a brand new 100,000-seat stadium on adjacent land, rather than trying to renovate the existing ground. Let me put Old Trafford's problems in global context. Arsenal left Highbury because they couldn't expand or modernise it. Tottenham demolished White Hart Lane and built a completely new stadium. And West Ham moved from Upton Park to the London Stadium, increasing capacity from 35,000 to 60,000. Even the most famous stadiums are undergoing massive changes. Real Madrid is spending over €500 million renovating the Bernabeu, while Barcelona is investing €1.5 billion in Camp Nou renovations. And these clubs understand that modern football requires modern infrastructure. So, what's the solution for Manchester United? The club's Stadium Task Force has been exploring building a completely new stadium that could hold 100,000 fans, making it the largest club stadium in Europe. This new theatre of dreams would incorporate every modern feature that Old Trafford lacks, including advanced technology throughout the ground. premium hospitality suites that could compete with any venue in the world, and the ability to host concerts, NFL games, and major events year-round. A 100,000 capacity would make United Stadium the largest in European club football, and the additional 26,000 seats compared to Old Trafford would generate tens of millions in additional revenue every season. The harsh reality is that sentiment and history, as important as they are, can't fix structural engineering problems. They can't generate the revenue United needs to compete with the biggest clubs in the world, and they can't provide the facilities that modern fans deserve. Old Trafford will always be the theatre of dreams, and the memories made there over 115 years can never be taken away. But sometimes, to honour the past, you have to be brave enough to build the future. So, here's the question that every United fan needs to answer. Should Manchester United build a new theatre of dreams? A stadium that could be the most advanced football venue in the world, and a ground that could secure the club's financial future for the next century. What do you think? Would you support United leaving Old Trafford for a new 100,000-seat stadium? Let me know in the comments below. And if this opened your eyes to the reality facing United, hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you in the next video.